welcome to today's app demo. There are two things I'm going to demo today. Firstly, the introduction of our care plans within the app, and secondly, the introduction of our all new COVID-19 risk assessment. So if we kick things off with the care plans first, for this I'm going to concentrate on Jeremy Haynes on the first visit at the top of the screen. So if I go ahead and tap into his profile, what you should be able to see is the introduction of this new care plans section within the profile. Now this will be available to all service users within the system that have had a care plan completed by an administrator on the main CareFor system. So if I tap the care plans button for Jeremy, what we now see is that he actually has 3 care plans associated with him. But for this demo, I'm just going to concentrate on the domiciliary care plan. So having tapped that, now what we can see is this is quite a chunky care plan for Jeremy. Lots of headings, lots of categories, lots of information, hopefully, for the carer. So for the purpose of the demo, let's just run through maybe 1 or 2 sections to get a feel for how this works. So at random, if I pick religious or cultural needs, what you can see here are 3 sections within this: religion, ethnic origin, any other cultural needs. These would have been answered by the administrator on the main system. For this demo, just dummy data, but you can see the power of how the carer would have this information ready on the phone for them. If I go back and let's pick another one, let's say medical history. Here there are some medical questions that have been answered for Jeremy. So for example, does Jeremy have diabetes? Yes. Any further details? Yes, he must inject himself after all meals. If we scroll down, there's a few no's here. High blood pressure? Yes. Further details? He was diagnosed in 2015. So good, useful information to the carer to have with them at all times when on a visit. If I bounce back, I think that's enough of the forms themselves, but you can see clearly that you have this idea that within the care plans you have all of the sections from the main system, and then all of the sections within are accessible by tapping onto a care plan category and seeing the information within. Hopefully that's going to be a big step forward for the carer, and that will give them a lot more data and information when they are on the road on their visits. So if I now bounce back to the main screen, what I'm going to focus on now is the second part of the demo, the all new COVID-19 risk assessment. So a little bit of information first. The idea here is that one carer would be assigned a visit to complete a COVID-19 risk assessment, and after that, this risk assessment would then be available to all future carers with visits with this particular service user to view in the future. So on the second visit, you can see here, I've already checked in. So if I check out of this visit now, what you will see is a form here that can be completed for this service user, a series of questions, and if I just get started, so is there a confirmed case of COVID in the household? Let's say no. Is there anyone with symptoms of COVID-19 in the household? Let's say no to that too. Has anyone in the household been in close contact with a person with symptoms? Let's say yes. Their son, for example. Is anyone in the household shielding extremely vulnerable? Yes. Let's say has been since March. Is anyone in the household practicing social distancing? Yes. Let's say just will the activities or environment of the visit or the needs of anyone in the household make it difficult to maintain social distancing? Let's just say not known for this one. And then finally, what PPE should be worn when attending this household? let's select apron, gloves, and let's say a mask, but not a shield. So what I've done there is I've completed the risk assessment now. So if I go ahead and submit that, that's now gone off back to the main system. And if I press sync at the top, what I will be doing then is simulating the role of a carer in the future that will come to a visit with this particular service user and will want to be able to see that this service user has had a risk assessment for COVID completed. So if I press sync, what you immediately see is that on the main screen, there is now a COVID-19 badge associated to Shirley Bates. This shows that without going any deeper into the screens within the app, that this service user has had a COVID-19 risk assessment completed and it is available for the carer to now see. What I'll do now is I'll show you how to view that risk assessment. So if we tap into the Shirley Bates profile, and go to care plans again, she just has the one care plan, so we've gone straight into it. So here we are, COVID-19 risk assessment general. If we tap that, and now what you can see are the answers to the form that I filled in a few moments ago. And this would be available to all carers now that have a visit with Shirley Bates. So hopefully, with the addition of the badge on this screen and the care plans and the ability to add and read a risk assessment for the carers, that's a big step forward for the app, especially around the COVID-19 stuff, which has been much requested. That's the end of the demo, but I'm happy to take any questions at the end of the overall demo. Thanks.